For our last trick, we'll do a little bit of rudimentary form validation. In reality, the number of times that I will ever have to hand bake a form and form validation is about 0. With jQuery forms available, with built-in validation, but again, this is this is to say, this is your introduction into how the inner workings of some of these things operate, and then you can also breathe a sigh of relief that you probably will never have to hand code these things. You may have to look inside something and understand how it works though, so it's helpful in that regard. So what I'm going to do is, let's say that I'm going to make sure that they typed more than 3 letters in the first, oh, let me think of something that's easier. I've already put the required attribute on the first name and the password, so that's not going to be helpful for me. I think the one in the example is a very simple form validation. Okay, it's accessing the form items value. So let's say that we want to make sure that they did choose a radio button. We didn't put required on the radio buttons, okay? So let me write my function up at the top. Script. And I'm going to put a little comment in here in JavaScript style comments that says require that the user choose a favorite food. That's the goal here. This is a JavaScript style comment. It's a single line comment. I could also do this like a CSS style comment, which we've seen a lot this semester. That would be fine. Function require food. Okay, now I'm going to access the form data that has been submitted with the form. So taking a look at the slide, this is my function that I'm writing, which I have called something different. I'm going to put something in a variable here, and I'm going to access a special thing called documents.forms, document.forms. This thing called my form, this should be the actual form. And that is from the name of the form. Okay, so again, name becomes important here. So document.forms and then square brackets and then whatever you named your form. Another square bracket and then whatever you named the thing that we're interested in. So there's a lot of square brackets here. We're going to go carefully through this. Var favorite food value equals document.forms and then sub, so square brackets. Did I name my form? No, I have not. So let's name it. Name equals testing. And then inside that, I want to name the actual thing, which is favorite food. So that's what I'm interested in now. Okay. So this gets us all the way down to the actual value they typed in favorite food and stores it in a variable named favorite food value. Then I'm going to just alert it for now to make sure I'm doing okay. Okay, now that I've sorted out what my function is going to do for the moment, when does require food happen? I'm going to double click to copy it, but now I'm wondering, when does this even happen? When does require food actually run? Looking carefully at our form, we can see that we have an onSubmit. So just like we had onClick before, we have something called onSubmit, and we have something that says return validate form. Okay, validate form is the name of the function here. So I'll talk about return and what return is doing in a minute, but we'll put an onSubmit handler on our form tag and call our function. So here's our form tag. Add an onSubmit equals, and then put in our name of our function. Remember to include the parentheses if you're dealing with a handler in HTML. Okay, so what should happen is when I click the submit button, it will call my required food function and we should get an alert message. Let's see if it happens. Refresh. Submit. Oh, right. Submit. And this says object radio node list. Okay, what if I actually go back and type something? Oh, right. Okay, object radio node list. So it's gotten me to the radio buttons. How do I find my actual value? Well, if this got me to the testing form and this got me to the favorite food radio buttons, then hopefully I can put a value at the end of this, and that will give me the value. Save, refresh, type in something so it'll be happy, submit. This page says it's blank. Okay, the value is blank. What if I go back and I actually choose something like bacon? Submit bacon. Okay, super. So now I'm able to understand what the value is that the user typed in there, and now I can create some logic. I'm still going to the confirmation page, which I don't want to be doing, but we'll get there in a minute. Now I can write an if statement, which is similar to the one in the slide. So let's look at that carefully. This says, if whatever my value is blank, then I alert something. Okay, so I'm already alerting. I can just alert something different. Now I can say, if the favorite food value is equal to blank, then I can say, alert, please choose a favorite food. It's the world's most annoying form. Okay. Save and refresh. Okay, fill something in, submit. Please choose a favorite food. Aha, okay. Now say okay. I shouldn't go to the confirmation page yet, but we'll do that last. Now fill out something, actually choose a favorite food. Beautiful. Okay, last part. I don't want to go to the confirmation page if I made this mistake. So this is what is happening for return. So I'm going to say, what a return is from a function. This is like the subject of a week of a JavaScript class or a unit of a JavaScript class, but I will briefly say require food, this whole function, can return to whoever called it, that is this submit handler, can say false if something went wrong. And that's what we're interested in knowing in the onSubmit. Did something fail? Fail from the handler. OnSubmit in turn can go ahead and return whatever require food returned, and if it returns that to the form tag, then the form tag knows that it should not go on. So that's what we're doing with this return. This is the beauty of the return. Save and refresh. Don't fill in anything. Submit. Please choose a favorite food, and we're still right here on the same page. Choose bacon, submit, done. That is the rudimentary JavaScript validation. At least now you know the mechanics.